A car flies over the cliff near Tech Ridge in St. George. A nude street scene ends in a drug bust in Washington City, and daylight savings could be coming to an end in Utah.
You're watching St. George News at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Cannon Seacrest. On Tuesday afternoon, a woman was taken to the hospital after driving her car off the Tech Ridge cliff just above Monster Storage. St. George News reporter Stephanie DeGraw has more from the scene.
A car went over the cliff below Dixie Technical College at Tech Ridge above Monster Storage on Tuesday. St. George police officer Tiffany Mitchell said a 41-year-old female driver was the only occupant in the vehicle.
So we are approximately 700 South Bluff Street below Tech Ridge, where we had a single vehicle go off of the cliff up top. It rolled, it had a single female occupant in it. She is injured and en route to the hospital. And for now, that's all we know.
The driver was transported to St. George Regional Hospital.
Thanks, Stephanie. On Monday afternoon, police were alerted of a woman running through traffic in her underwear in Washington City, which later led to a drug bust and 2 suspects being arrested. Police say 49-year-old Lorianne Cottom seemed to be hallucinating, running in front of moving vehicles, and fighting with police officers while wearing just underwear. Cottom's actions led to her arrest and prompted police to a residence where signs of drug use were apparent. All 3 individuals inside the house claimed to have taken acid and stated that they were having a bad trip. One of the homeowners, 52-year-old Marvin Stadola, was also arrested after officers discovered MDMA, ketamine, GHB, mushrooms, LSD, cocaine, marijuana, and a clear bag labeled Adderall with no prescription bottle found. Both Cottom and Stadola were booked into jail and await their initial appearance in court this Friday. Late on Monday night, a fiery scene unfolded on southbound I-15 near Beaver Dam, Arizona, due to a semi-truck packed with potatoes igniting and closing both lanes for about an hour. The trailer quickly became fully engulfed by the fire, but no injuries were reported from the incident due to the quick response by firefighters. Also, in a separate incident about 2 hours later, a trailer carrying apple puree caught fire on I-15 near St. George, but again, no injuries were reported. Many people have a love-hate relationship with daylight savings time depending on if you're gaining or losing an extra hour of sleep. Here's Maury Kessler on a Utah congresswoman who is introducing a bill to make a permanent change to daylight savings.
Daylight saving time struck over the weekend and took an hour from everyone's day, at least for the next 6 months. Attempts have been made on the state and federal level over the years to end the time change by either doing away with daylight saving time or making it permanent. This year, Utah Congresswoman Celeste Beloy joined the fray by reintroducing federal legislation that would allow states to make the time change permanent if they chose to do so. The Utah legislature passed a bill in 2020 to make daylight saving time permanent. However, it requires Congress to change federal statute to allow the change to take place. Members of the Canyon Media and St. George News team were asked what they thought about daylight saving time and the possibility of it becoming permanent.
I am Vin Capiello. I am the evening editor / sports editor. I see really no point in having daylight savings time.
And what would your thoughts be if it was made permanent?
I would really like that. I would like that simply because I can't ever get my watch to adjust correctly. So for 6 months of the year, I'm usually an hour off.
James Kreitzer, Creative Director, Canyon Media and St. George News.
All right, and what are your thoughts on daylight saving time?
Historically, not a problem, but in the last few years, I can't stand it. It's really affected my sleep schedule.
What if it was made permanent?
I would be okay with that. I would like the consistency. I do like the light at night, so I don't know which way it would shift permanently, so depending on that, but I would be okay with it being permanent.
However, Brett Barrett, Canyon Media's advertising coordinator, had a different take on the matter. All right, what are your thoughts on daylight saving time?
Love it. It's so chaotic. It's just a perfect thing. Who doesn't love doing math when you open your eyes first thing in the morning?
What would you think it was if daylight saving time was made permanent without the change?
Made permanent without the change? Heresy. We've got to have the change. Change is good. Change is wonderful.
Love it or hate it, the march of daylight saving time continues and will take a literal act of Congress to change.
Thanks, Maury. The month of March marks Women's History Month, and at the Best Friends Animal Sanctuary, women are making an impact with their leadership and animal welfare. Here's Alicia Lundgren with more on the story.
For Women's History Month, the women of the Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in Kanab sat down with St. George News to discuss leadership, diversity, and animal welfare. The director of Cat World, Amy Kohlbecker, said she learned to lift everyone up after being treated differently as a woman at other facilities.
So my experiences previously, where I was treated differently because of a female, have definitely shaped the way that I treat others. In my professional life and personal life, I try to make sure that everybody has a voice, that everybody has a chance, and to empower people as much as I can.
Women comprise 77% of the Best Friends workforce and 81% of its animal care jobs. Dogtown director Amy Wasner shares some advice for other women and girls interested in a career in animal welfare.
Keep your head up and follow your dreams. The path might always not be the one that you've expected, and there might be some detours along the way, but keeping your eyes on those goals and keeping persevering to get there.
Wasmer said she loved working with a diverse group of people to help animals and increase the number of no-kill shelters across the U.S.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. I'm Cannon Seacrest with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5.